Jamal Hill versus Jiří Procházka might be the most difficult fight to predict on this entire card. UFC 311. These two men will be facing off a fight that's been based and has been predicted for over 4 years. It's been expected. These guys were supposed to face off a long time ago when Jamal Hill was champ, when Jiří Procházka was champ. Now both these guys just got flatlined by Alex Pereira, and this is such a difficult fight to predict. I just uploaded my prediction video for the entire UFC 311 card. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. But I did pick Jiří Procházka. But I've been thinking about this fight so much. I've been thinking about this fight nonstop, and I just can't actually pick one of these guys because this fight is such a 50-50 fight. When you go in depth about this fight, both these guys got power. Both these guys got knockout power. They both have hands. They both can throw hands. This fight will end in a finish, guaranteed. There is no way this is going 3 rounds. Even if this was a 5-rounder, it wouldn't matter. I don't think this fight is making it out of the second round, if not the first round. Both these guys throw themselves into the fire. They're very, very calculated. They got a lot of power. And, I picked Jiří Procházka against Alex Pereira both times. Clearly, that did not play out the way I expected it to. I did pick Alex against Jamahal Hill, but I thought Jiří could pull it off against Alex. We saw what happened. Jiří's one of my favorite fighters. That is why I picked Jiří Procházka. It was a bit of a biased pick in my prediction video. But the more I think about this fight, the more I dig deep into this fight, I realize that this is such a 50-50. When you got somebody like Jamal Hill who's flatlined almost everybody that he's fought, his name is Sweet Dreams for a reason. As much as people hate on him, he's got knockout power. Even though he's got a belly at light heavyweight, he does have knockout power. He is dangerous. And when he's going against a guy in Jiří who's shown that his defense is terrible, he blocks jabs with his face. This guy blocks jabs with his face. He is a monster from the Czech Republic. But at the end of the day, he's just a man. All these guys in the UFC are just men. Can he really block those shots from Jamal Hill straight to the head? We don't know. This is why this fight is so complicated in my eyes. I've just gone back raving on and on about this fight. And you got Jamal Hill, who is a good striker. He's a good striker. He throws a lot of jabs, a lot of check hooks. We saw what he did to many of these guys. He's knocked them out cold. He slept a lot of these guys. He's got power in his hands. So does Jiří for that reason. Jiří has a lot of power as well, but he throws really awkward shots, really unpredictable shots. He keeps his hands down. He moves side to side. He throws up. He throws hooks. He throws checks. He throws uppercuts. Everything that you could think of. When he fought Rakic, he was just throwing non-stop, pressuring him. He was getting beat up in the first round against Rakic. People predicted Rakic to win that fight. I picked Jiří because I've been riding with Jiří for a while, but I'm not going to lie. I was stressed in that fight. I was very stressed in that fight because that was a close matchup. Rakic is an amazing striker, one of the best strikers in light heavyweight. He's been unlucky in his past few fights, but against Jiří, he was teeing off on Jiří. Jiří was eating the shots to the head. He's very, very vulnerable to low kicks. We've seen Jiří's legs get compromised multiple times by Alex Pereira, by Glover Teixeira when he fought him for the belt. Multiple times we've seen Jiří get his legs destroyed. And does Jamal Hill throw enough leg kicks to do that? I don't believe so. I think Jamal Hill is more of a stand-up guy who does focus on jabbing and throwing hooks. He is mostly using his hands, but if he matches up against Jiří and he decides to use a game plan to break down Jiří's legs and then hit him on the head when he's trying to defend those leg kicks, because Jiří, I will have to say this, I love Jiří, but his defense is god awful. Jiří's defense is awful. We've seen this time and time again. This dude does not know how to put his hands up. He does not know how to put his hands up for shit. Man, if we had a Jiří who is defensively sound, he would be light heavyweight champ. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Of course, we got Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira is Jiří's kryptonite. He seems to be Jamal Hill's kryptonite as well. He's got Jamal Hill crashing out non-stop since that fight. When you look at the fight Jiří and Jamal, you want to pick Jiří because Jamal Hill has just been crying non-stop about Alex Pereira. I think everybody, the entire UFC community, most of them at least, want to see Jiří get this fight. But when we break it down from their fight styles, Jamal Hill looks like a guy that could destroy Jiří Procházka because Jiří is not defensively sound. He doesn't know how to keep his hands up. He doesn't know how to check leg kicks at all. He was eating them from Alex Pereira. His leg was destroyed. His movement was destroyed. That we saw that in the first fight. And that's why Jiří blitzed in. He tried to get something off because he was stressing about his legs. He tried to get those shots off on Alex and then got countered bad. And in the second fight, Alex was able to take it to him, knock him down because Jiří had his hands down, of course. And then that leg kick that finished off Jiří from Alex Pereira, that was just it's a beautiful leg kick, but Jiří didn't even try to block it. He didn't even try to block it. His defense just it needs to be improved. We don't know if it's improved because we don't have much footage on Jiří's training. This dude is up in the mountains, and most guys that come from the mountains. I just dropped a video about Dagestani fighters. I just dropped a video about how they train in the mountains, and they're really good because they train in the mountains. They're in rigorous areas, but Jiří's in rigorous areas. But this dude does not get any defense practice at all. He needs to go to an actual gym. He needs to train with guys who know how to defend properly because Jiří, even though he can throw himself to the fire, he can throw himself at anybody and eat shots, he relies way too heavily on his chin. And you can't bet on a guy that relies that heavily on his chin. As much as I love picking Jiří, this is a tough fight to predict. The odds have switched. The odds, it was a pick'em. It is really close to a pick'em, but Jamahal Hill is breaking out as a favorite. I do understand why he's breaking out as a favorite now. It was if you avoided the complete spasm and crybaby attacks from Jamahal Hill, all the crybaby activity that he's had on his YouTube channel, in interviews, if you avoided all of that from Alex Pereira, he would be a huge favorite against Jiří Procházka, excuse me. I think Jamahal Hill would be a huge favorite against Jiří Procházka if he wasn't such a crybaby. But since he is, it's made it a bit difficult. But we got Jamahal Hill breaking out as the favorite. It's understandable. He's more defensively sound. He does have cleaner, crisper strikes. He is a better striker. But Jiří is just such a tough dude that it's gonna be difficult. This is such a difficult fight to predict. That's why I had to make this video because I gotta talk about this, man. I gotta rant about this. I've been thinking about it so much. I'm sure a lot of you guys have been thinking about it. On a betting perspective, I don't want to bet this fight. I don't know many people that want to bet this fight on a betting perspective. I've been seeing people make like 3-leg parlays, lock parlays, and they're putting Jamahal Hill on that thing. Look, I understand that Jamahal Hill is more defensively sound, but I'm still not betting Jamahal Hill, man. I'm not betting that. This fight could go any way. Rakic was destroying Jiří, and then in the second round, Jiří comes out of nowhere and just lays down the pressure. He lays on the pressure and just dropped Rakic, knocked him down, kneed him to the face. Jiří's one of those guys that he'll take damage to deal damage. That's his fight style. He takes damage, and then he relays that damage times 2. He relies super heavily on his jaw. He relies on his chin, and he relies on his power to be able to bring the fight to his opponent. He's going to try to do that against Jamahal Hill here. I hope that Jiří's changed his style. I hope he's improved his defense. But if he hasn't, it's going to be a tough task for him. And it is a 3-rounder. So, I don't think it's going the distance. But if this fight were to go the distance, who deals the more damage? I think Jamahal Hill does. He's going to be hitting a lot more jabs. He's going to be landing jabs, sticking jabs, backing up, rolling with punches. Jiří doesn't do that. Jiří, hands down, he's trying to roll with punches, but his head is so open. He's got a pretty big head. I'll give him that, man. And, he's going to be open to eat those jabs to the face, and he will eat those jabs. We know Jiří will eat those jabs. He's a warrior. I love Jiří. He's a great fighter. Samurai guy, Czech samurai. But it's just tough to pick him in this situation. I already picked him in my prediction video. I am going to stay on that. I still want Jiří to win. I am going to be rooting for Jiří, man. But I wouldn't be surprised if he gets knocked out by Jamahal Hill or loses a decision to Jamahal Hill, because if it does go to the scorecards, if it does go the distance, Jamahal Hill will be taking that based off damage. If it's damage-based scorecards, it's going to be going to Jamahal Hill. We know this, man. So this video, I just wanted to talk about this because it's such a close fight. I want to know what you guys think about this fight. I do think that Jiří has a chance to win this fight, but I might have to go with Jamahal Hill. I might have to switch up a little bit, but I am still going to be rooting for Jiří. I did still pick Jiří. I hope he wins. If he does win, does he get another title shot? I don't think so. If Jamahal Hill wins, that interview after the fight, he's going to be calling for Alex Pereira, man. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see him whine about Alex Pereira on the mic, man. I don't think anybody wants to see that, because he's gonna fight Alex Pereira twice. Gonna get knocked out, man. He's gonna get knocked out. If either of these guys win, I think they should fight down in the rankings. I think they should fight somebody to earn another title shot. And hopefully, if Alex beats Ankalaev, he moves up to heavyweight or finds some other matchup, because he's just laying out these dudes. Like, I don't want to see Alex versus Jiří 3. I'm gonna be honest. I can't watch Jiří get flatlined again. And I don't think we want to see Jamahal versus Alex 2 either. We don't want to see those fights. So right now it's a tough situation at light heavyweight. We got a lot of light heavyweight contenders. We got some good up and coming guys. We got Carlos Ulberg. I think you match Carlos Ulberg against either Jiří or Jamahal, or against the loser of that fight. You match him up with Carlos Ulberg. That's a good matchup. We got a lot of these dudes at light heavyweight that we could be boosting a bit. I don't think Rakic should be in the top 5. I think he should be dropped down a lot too. He's been on a 3-fight win streak, 3-fight loss streak. I mean, he's been losing, so we should drop Rakic down. Move up some of these other guys, some of these other contenders, make them fight Jiří and Jamahal for that number 1 contender spot. We got Jan Blachowicz. He's coming back. He is fighting Carlos Ulberg, so the winner of that could fight the number 1 contender, which would be interesting. But obviously, we need to see Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev, and then we'll see where Jiří and Jamahal match up. Whoever wins that fight, and if they win in a good fashion, I do expect a knockout in this fight by either Jiří or Hill. It's gonna be interesting to see, boys. If you did enjoy the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a comment down below who you guys are picking. It's a tough pick. I know it's a tough pick. I wouldn't lay your money on this fight too heavily. Don't parlay this fight at least. At least don't parlay this fight. But if you do, leave it down below. Give your best picks for the card UFC 311, and I'll catch you boys in the next one. See you.